sponsored by Moji Masala. Spice up your quarantine recipes with small batch single dish Indian spice packets for fresh, authentic, and homemade Indian food. Use code 2019CHAMPS for 20% discount. Offer is good till supplies last. Will Kansas and Louisville be penalized? An inside description to recruiting on Zoom. A very special guest will join us to put JWILLY on the spot if I don't botch the waiting room feature on Zoom, and more. Welcome to the JWILLY Show on Locker Room Access. I'm Mark Jerome, and of course, he's Jason Williford. Listeners, hit us up on the forum and please send in a question. If your question is selected, you will receive 2 packets of Moji Masala. Coach, I want to commend you on not using any of the prohibited phrases, causing a violation last week, and having to purchase 2 tickets for a listener to a UVA game.
Hey, I just don't want to do the push-ups.
You don't have to do push-ups. We've already talked about it. But you're ready for it. You've been losing weight. You've been getting in shape.
I know, but I'm okay if I screw up and somebody gets 2 tickets. I'm okay with that.
Okay, good.
But I understand. I'm staying away from them damn push-ups.
Is the homeschooling with Cam improving?
No. Luckily, we've only got 2 more weeks, so it is not improving. We've got 2 more weeks, and I'm checking off the days.
So you're really hoping the school resumes in September
or
August, whenever it is in Virginia.
If they don't go back the end of August, I'm getting a tutor. Somebody's going to have to come in and do the homeschool. I am not doing it.
That's hilarious. Do you have any idea who the guest is?
No clue.
And if you do, I want you to still say no so you don't make me look badly for fumbling on Zoom.
No, I got no clue. It can't be my wife. She's doing a Zoom call herself with the coaches' wives. They're having their little Friday happy hour. So
okay,
all the wives. So it's not her. I got no idea. Maybe a former player, maybe a former teammate. We'll see.
Okay, good. Well, I hope you're very surprised that he's going to put you on the spot.
All right, good.
So I already told you it's male.
All right, I'm okay.
So that cuts it down a lot, right?
It does.
This is who it is.
It's just no surprise ex-girlfriends.
All right. First question has about 4 parts to it.
All right.
As you know, Louisville, NC State, and Kansas are among schools that have been hit with notices of allegations by the NCAA and are now being investigated. These are not really open and shut cases, as a lot of people think they are, and they've actually become quite complicated. I think the big question during the investigation is, are sneaker companies seen as boosters, if that's accurate? And so the question to you is, does the NCAA find Kansas guilty?
Ooh, I don't know. It's so many layers to this stuff. I guess they've got to do their investigation. I know the FBI did what they were supposed to do. I don't know. I would imagine there are some possible NCAA violations that occurred at some of those places. We'll see the severity of punishment and actually what comes of it. But I, to be quite honest, Mark, I haven't followed those. We're just trying to do what we do and do it the right way. So I haven't followed those guys.
All right. Let's just say, I know you do what you try to do, right? That's going to be another cliche that you're going to give you a penalty, by the way, next week in the future, right?
It better not.
It's going to. So we're going to increase those to give people the chance to win tickets. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, or what your prediction is going to be. If they're found guilty, what is the punishment? Will it be death penalty, slap on the wrist, or somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, I'm. To be honest, I'm not as familiar with all the possible violations. I don't see death penalty. I don't see this being. I'm probably talking out of turn here, but I don't see this being SMU, the Pony Express, death penalty. I don't know exactly what the notice of allegations are about. So, you know, I don't know the amount of money. I don't know what was given. I don't know any of that. I think it all depends. Maybe there's some suspensions of coaches where they miss game times, maybe loss of scholarship. I don't know if they've got to forfeit wins or any of that type of stuff. Records get abolished, but I don't see death penalty. I just don't see that happening.
Okay, so the next question was going to be, do you see any of these schools receiving severe penalty? But I'm going to change that. I'm going to ask you a different question. Did you see the scheme on HBO?
I saw it, yes.
What were your thoughts?
Shocking. And again, the truth is somewhere in between all of that. Like, I don't know exactly where the truth lies. Dawkins, there's some credibility stuff there. But it was very compelling. I mean, if you listen to some of the audio taping and you just follow the story, it's shocking, upsetting, all at the same time. We're in this together. We're all super competitive. And I hear rumors, you hear rumblings of what goes on and what takes place in the recruiting, and you don't know what's true, what's all the way true. It's probably where there's smoke, there's some fire. But I was very shocked by what I watched on HBO.
Right. I think one of the most fascinating parts to me was the dude, Marty Blazer, was caught by the FBI for stealing from his clients.
Yeah.
As a journalist, or I'm sorry, financial advisor. And then he goes to them and says, wait a minute, I've got some great, I got some great info for you guys, and you guys can take down some of these coaches, right? And then in the end, he gets nothing. And a friend of mine, one of the guys I know, who was the only guy that did jail time, Emmanuel Book Richardson,
right,
just ends up doing 3 months, right?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, I'll tell you what's unfortunate again, and I don't want to get myself in too much trouble, but I'm going to go there with this. It's a little unfortunate that it seems like minority, the brothers that are assistant coaches take a lot of the heat and have to take the fall for a lot of this. Mm-hmm. Book was the only guy, like you referenced, that did time. Chuck Person was the guy that was mentioned at Auburn. Lamont Evans at Oklahoma State. A couple other guys that I know. I mean, we know these guys. To think that the coaches don't know what's happening in their program is a little mind-boggling to me. And it's a shame that those guys, that the brothers end up taking a lot of the heat. So I went there, but that's how I feel. It's unfortunate. And in the grand scheme of things, I'm not sure. I mean, if they change the rules with image and likeness, I don't. I mean, the amount of money we're talking about it's not that significant.
Will Wade and Sean Miller are on the platform at press conferences, and they're like clearly lying through their teeth on camera, right?
Well, I don't know.
I'm not asking you to agree. I'm not asking you to comment on that. But
it's their word. That's their version of the story. It makes you question a whole lot, and say, the old Arsenio, but they're still coaching.
Yep. All right. If these schools are found guilty, is your response, it's about time, they've been cheating for years? B, I'm not aware of anyone paying players and everyone's innocent until proven guilty? C, neither, and you have your own answer.
I'm gonna do a hodgepodge of all of that. I'm gonna say, you hear the stories. You know, I've never seen cheating. I wouldn't even know how to do it. But I would say, if they are cheating and whatever happens, I'm okay with whatever happens. I think there needs to be punishment. And again, I'm just happy that we do it the way we do it, and that, you know, we always got knocked for style of play, for who we recruit, for all of this, and to go and win at the highest level, a national championship,
Yep.
doing it the right way, is the most gratifying thing.
So I've had people, this is part of question 2. I've had people that have asked me, come on, Mark, where's your new car? I know you guys got paid. I know Ty, you know, let me hold something, right? I know, or at least am extremely convinced that UVA does not violate rules, right? I know I didn't get anything. I know other schools have possibly said, let me show you something. Let me talk to you, right? And I know UVA has never done that. I know, like, Ty's never got anything, and it just doesn't happen there, right?
Hey, listen. I wouldn't be coaching here if I took shortcuts. It's not the way the athletic department set up. It's not the way the university set up. It's definitely not the way Tony Bennett's going to run a program.
Right.
And you know, I just think that there's a right and wrong way to do things, and we're gonna do it by the book.
So has any player come on grounds and come to on a recruiting visit and said, all right, so let's talk? Are you aware? Do you remember anything like that happening?
I mean, not on grounds, but you get a whole lot of conversation. I mean, you know, there's talk when you're recruiting that starts to go in one direction, and you know, hey, that's just not. We can't recruit this guy.
Yeah.
So you know, you hear it, and you know, people said, you know, certain things over the phone or at schools, or you know, but we won't go there.
Right. So the question 2 is actually, are you concerned by any UVA players and their relationships with AAU coaches and agents taking money illegally, and who monitors that?
Not, no, we're not concerned. Quite honestly, there's not a whole lot of monitoring of that. If kids wanted to do that, or families wanted to do that, they very well could do it, unbeknownst to us. I'm pretty sure agents and their runners have ways to get to the recruits and get to our players, get to up and coming recruits. They know how to do it. That's what they do.
Sure.
If any of that's going on, I'd be shocked. And we don't really have to worry about that. I mean, it's just the way our program, it's just the culture.
Right. I can definitely tell you that it would be extremely easy for that to happen. If they have your phone number and they reach out and say, hey, we want to represent you, and by the way, here's something. And I'm just not aware of that ever happening with anybody at UVA, or definitely in the class that Ty graduated with, or left school with, sorry.
Yeah, and I think I just said culture too, so I owe 2 tickets. Isn't that one of the catchwords?
It actually isn't. A good fit.
Okay.
Good fit is.
Okay, all right.
But we might make it one just so we can give a lucky listener 2 tickets. Okay? Fresh is going to be so impressed with your willingness to be so generous.
That's all right. It may have to be a non-conference game, though.
I think that'll be okay. I think so many fans want to see you guys play if they take a non-conference game. Absolutely. So that leads me into question 3. Um, is each assistant coach assigned to players as an advisor, right? To make sure they're upholding their responsibilities as a student athlete?
Yes, we, uh, 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 in addition to one of us, TJ Grams, who's our academic advisor, oversees all of our guys, and he's basketball only. But then each of us will take a guy or two, and just make sure they're staying on top of their commitment academically, checking in how they're doing socially. Um, Obviously, basketball wise, we have a couple guys, me specifically with the bigs, kind of just take those guys under my wing. But yeah, um, and Coach Getter and Coach Mangino, along with Kirk Penny, are involved with that mentorship or monitoring of all the guys as well.
Right. So when you take those 2 players or 3 players and you guys have like check-ins and just check on them and make sure there's conversations going and know there's open communication, know they can rely on you, right? And so
Absolutely.
okay, all right. And is there a time when it just maybe happens organically when you and another player might just develop a flow and develop a relationship and you guys get
Yeah,
closer?
yeah. So I mean, it happens. Where you just grab a guy and or he may come to you and just want to talk based on your experience, kind of what you've gone through. I grab certain guys after practices, on the road and in the hotel room. And, you're always talking to them, always trying to build a relationship, because it's more than basketball. I mean, it's a family, and we want them to know that we're always there, and they can
Right.
talk to us about anything, girlfriends, family situation, whatever arises.
Yeah.
We're as a staff, we're always there.
So that just reminds me of, we had Isaiah Wilkins on the Locker Room Access podcast a week ago, and he talked about mental health issues and he talked about his relationship with Jack. And so did he also have a coach that he was fairly close to and was talking to during tough times?
Yeah, so Coach Sanchez recruited him. And when Ron was here, he was very close to Ron. And then he got close to Coach Vandross, and obviously me. I mean, I've worked with him for 4 years, being the big guy coach. So whenever he needed to talk, he would talk. But he was probably the closest to Ron, who recruited him, and got to know him when he was much younger,
Right.
and help mentor and cultivate that relationship as he got older.
That's great to have that support. Right. All right. So question 4, during a typical recruiting visit, on-campus recruiting visit, you can show off JPJ, show off the grounds, show off the football field, introduce recruits to staff members. During this time, can you please describe a recruiting Zoom visit?
So a little different. Obviously, we're not on grounds, but before we actually do a Zoom visit with the staff and the recruit's family, we send certain video out, and so there's locker room video that we send. We send a video, kind of JPJ and all that's within JPJ, and we send something on about grounds where they can kind of do a virtual grounds tour. So they get 3 separate videos,
right,
before we actually do the staff Zoom video, where they're kind of talking to, the guys on the staff, obviously Coach Bennett. And most of the time, it's not all the staff. It's the head lead recruiter with Coach Bennett and maybe one other guy. And so just kind of a get to know you, put a face with the name. And then as we move forward, there's certain things we do with the recruits. I'll keep those to myself. I don't want to give them tricks of the trade away. But there's some things we do that I think are unique to who we are specifically addressing our pillars and what we're all about.
Gotcha. All right. I'm giving you 2 guesses who the surprise guest is. It's not Tony Bennett.
I wouldn't have said Tony. I got no clue. It's not Fresh either, because Fresh can get on anytime. Who
Can you
is
see
it?
him?
I can't see a thing.
Coach, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Man, thanks for having me. I tell you one thing.
Hey,
who is this guy with this beard?
Hey, and I just talked you up. I don't know if you heard that I was talking about.
He didn't.
Oh, he didn't hear?
No.
I didn't hear a thing.
No, I just talked you up. We're talking about Isaiah and your relationship. They had Zay do a podcast not too long ago, and I said that you were very close with Zay. Talking about what he had gone through, his mental health issues and stuff like that. So I had no clue. And my wife's on the Zoom with your family right now. The wives
I can hear them all down. I can hear them all downstairs. I heard your son is 6 feet tall right now.
He is. Ron is crazy.
And
thank
God he takes after his mother.
I'm on him every day about hooping and dribbling and shooting.
Hey, in the garage. Because I know you're not letting your kids outside.
No, we go outside. I got the driveway. We go, they can run in the cul-de-sac.
You got your kids wrapped in bubble wrap. I know you. You're not letting your kids out. I know you too well.
As long as there's nobody else around, we run in the cul-de-sac.
Hey, listen, when I got a call and they said, hey, we want to get you on the Jay Willie show, my response was, wait a minute, did you say the Jay Willie show? I volunteer. I said, I will pay to get on the Jay Willie show.
Hey, Ron,
this is the highlight of my week.
Ron, they messed up and gave me my own show. Now, I done said all kind of stuff tonight. I might get in trouble, but that's all right.
I heard you violate all kinds of rules on the show. You're talking Ken Palm, you're talking, trust the process. Right. I'm hearing you owe push-ups. I'm hearing you giving away tickets. You're going to be broke by the end of the show and swole.
Hey, we need to get out of this pandemic so I can get some money to give tickets away.
All right, I'm going to let you guys catch up later.
Okay.
Coach Sanchez, I am giving you 2 questions.
2 questions.
You have 2 questions to put Jay Willie on the spot.
All right.
Or you can be nice.
Okay, my first question. Who is your favorite point guard out of the next 4? Okay?
Oh, shoot.
London?
Who?
London, Ty Jerome, Corey Alexander, or Crotty?
Ooh. Hey, that's an easy one, though.
You better watch yourself.
Hey, I coached 2 of them. I never played with one, but I came into school with the other, and he was in my wedding, and I've known him since we were 13. So if I don't say him, he gonna hold that against me for the rest of my life. So I'm going with CA, and I love them other dudes.
Okay, and you know what? I knew you were gonna go there. Blood is thicker than water. That's what I was thinking.
Dude. We got too many. We were road dogs for 4 years, roommates on the road. We got too many stories. That is my dude.
I was talking point guards though. That's okay. I know you guys are boys. I was talking. I know you guys got stories, but we're gonna leave it at that. It's Corey.
I'm going point guard. I'm going point guard. He's one of the best to do it at UVA.
Okay.
You put me on the spot.
Listen, but I wouldn't want to deal with Corey either if you answered that the wrong way.
I'm going with CA.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. My second question. One game. Both teams healthy. Okay. your Elite Eight team, let me finish. Your Elite Eight team that was elite.
This is an easy quick. This is an easy answer. Go ahead.
The national championship team. One game, everybody healthy.
This is an easy answer. One game.
One game, everybody's healthy.
Corey Alexander's healthy.
Yeah, everybody's healthy. One game.
We kicking their butts.
Really?
I would have loved to play that game. Yeah, we would have beat them.
Okay. Tell me why. Tell me why the Elite Eight game.
Did you expect to say anything different?
Huh? Mark, you knew I wasn't going to go against us.
No, but Coach Ron said, tell him why.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Junior would have struggled with the post trap, but he would have fouled y'all out. Somebody would have fouled out, and you wouldn't have had nobody to call. You couldn't have trapped him every time. Harold and Corey and Staples, and then you just had a bunch of roll tough. Yeah, too much offense, and we did play defense too.
Okay. Okay.
And we had Junior, and Junior is on my Mount Rushmore of UVA guys, just for the record.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to argue. I mean, I kind of knew you were going to go in that direction, but I just figured since that team won the national championship, you might give them a little nudge, you know, but it's okay.
Hey, you said one game.
One game.
Everybody healthy.
Everybody healthy.
Yeah. Hey, I ain't saying we win the national championship. I'm saying one game.
One game. One time. Yep.
I like us against that crew. I like us a lot.
What's the score? What's the point difference?
We wouldn't blow them out, but it'd be a close game. I got us by six or 8.
Ooh. Okay.
All right, I got a question for both of you guys.
Okay.
What is the difference in your recruiting styles?
Mine and Jay.
Yes.
Oh, shoot. Go ahead, Ron. You go first.
You know, I don't think that Jay and I were very different. You know, we were both very aggressive, you know, and once we got the green light to go after a guy, you know, we just pressed him. We surrounded it pretty well. I mean, Jay just has a little more game to him than I do. You know, I always thought he was from New York City. I don't really think he's from Richmond because he got way too much game to be from Richmond. But I don't think that we had that much of a difference. What do you think, Jay?
No, I don't. I think Ron, you came. I could shuck and jive a little bit more than Ron. Ron kind of came straight from the hip, but he very genuine in his approach. I think that's both of us. I think what you see is what you get when we recruit guys, and I thought that authenticity resonated with parents and with the kids. You know, I like to joke and have a good time, but at the same time, I think they see that it's sincere and honest. Yeah. And I thought that, I think both of us had that similar trait when it came to recruitment. Obviously, Ron, being in the Pac-12, had a lot more connections at the high level, at the Power 5 level than I did, but it didn't take me long to get my feet wet and jump in there with the big boys.
All right,
my favorite recruiting was when we had to say tag team a kid. You know, like when we had to work together, I was like, it's just a matter of time before, you know, I mean, the guys that Jay got on campus, I mean, we can go from Joel Embiid, and I mean, there's some guys that became, you know, big names in the NBA that came through our campus because of Jay.
Oladipo, we keep going.
Yeah. I mean, it's a list. No, honestly, it was.
Where did Joel Embiid go to school?
Kansas.
Hey, we didn't get them all, but hey, look.
Hey, listen, we had to start somewhere. No. We had to get them on campus.
No. So here's why I asked that question. You weren't listening earlier when we talked about Kansas, who's now received a notice of allegation. So that's why I asked that question about where did Joel Embiid go. Maybe
but I'm saying what Ron's saying is we had dudes sit in that office with Tony. People be surprised who came through grounds.
Man, seriously, right. We go from Grant, Oladipo, Joel Embiid, Devontae Graham. I mean, we were just kind of cycling guys. We just weren't having the success yet where those guys felt that, you know, they could take that next jump and they could trust us with it. But as far as getting guys on campus, you know, Jay did a great job of getting some elite level talent on campus. I mean, we recruited you while we were recruiting Ty. You know, Jay was chucking and jiving, and I was talking to you because I knew you were really important, you know, and Jay was doing everything else. So
in the future, I'm going to get each of your top 3 recruits in the future. We'll get to that on another show, right? Okay. So I'll give you some time to think about that because it sounds like a really highly touted list.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Now, top 3 that came to Virginia, or top 3?
We can do both. We'll have 2 different lists. We'll have top 3 that overall that you recruited. Maybe we'll do a Mount Rushmore, and I appreciate you giving a shout out to the Locker Room Access podcast by mentioning Mount Rushmore players.
There you go.
Yeah, appreciate that. And also, while we're talking about Locker Room Access, why don't you show everybody your shirt, please, quickly?
I don't know if
they hooked up by T-Dubs.
T-Dub took care of me. There it is.
Man, I was gonna have mine on. I didn't want to do that to you know. I was gonna have my Big Bennett Charlotte shirt on. Next time I'm on, I'm gonna have to rep it.
When you're on the Locker Room Access podcast, you'll definitely have to rep that shirt. Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on, man. It's
awesome.
Yeah,
no, thanks so much for joining us. Really.
Yeah, you look good. I like it. I like it.
Hey, that was a treat. It is my quarantine. I'm not gonna shave until I see our players again.
Man, I tell you what.
All right, we're gonna let you guys catch up. We're gonna let you guys catch up offline in a second.
All
right. Thanks for having me, guys. Have a great one.
Always. Thanks again for coming on.
Bye-bye.
All right, listeners. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget, please subscribe to us on YouTube and like each episode. Even if you don't like it, still hit the like button. And subscribe to us on Apple and Spotify. For Jay Willie, I'm Mark Jerome, giving you Locker Room Access. See you next time.
Special. You have to be so driven. And we talked about that passion for desiring to be great, but also with passion is loving what you do. It's easy to be passionate on game night, but can you have that kind of commitment in practice? And it's not just hard work and grit. When I see people who truly love what they do, that's passion.